When we think about civic engagement, we usually picture protests, right? Holding signs, casting ballots, going to town halls. But honestly, sometimes your absolute best weapon is just a deep understanding of the law and one seriously well-timed email. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into what I can only call a masterclass in citizen advocacy. We're going to break down exactly how one person built an airtight legal case to completely halt a high-profile government inauguration until the building actually followed the law.
So, let's set the scene. May 19, 2026. A citizen named Vishant Nagvekar shoots off this urgent email to authorities in Goa, India. The target? A brand new public building for the Inspectorate of Factories and Boilers. And what's wild about this is that it isn't your standard run-of-the-mill complaint. It's a meticulously researched legal warning, and he makes sure absolutely everyone is copied, from the chief town planner all the way to the state commissioner for persons with disabilities. He's making sure every single stakeholder is officially on notice.
With the building's grand opening literally just days away, this communication forces a massive, high-stakes question. Can a brand new public building actually legally open its doors if it isn't accessible to everyone? Keep in mind, this was a totally new construction. The authorities had every chance to get this right from day one. And this gets right to the heart of the issue, doesn't it? The massive gap between actually planning a building for everybody and just treating accessibility like some annoying afterthought right before the ribbon gets cut.
Actually, he hits the nail right on the head with this point. He explicitly argues that accessibility cannot just be a post-construction formality. I mean, we've all seen this happen in our own cities, right? A building gets finished, someone panics because they forgot about wheelchair access, and they just slap on a fix at the very last second. He's calling out that exact practice, pointing out that slapping on a ramp at the 11th hour definitely does not equal actual continuous accessibility.
And it goes way deeper than just looking bad. Throwing down a few tactile indicators or adding a crazy steep ramp to a back door just to pass a superficial inspection isn't merely a technical deficiency. As he points out, it is fundamentally contrary to the mandate of law. This is a huge distinction. It's the difference between doing the absolute bare minimum just to check a box on a blueprint versus actually designing a functional space where someone with a disability can move safely, independently, and frankly, with dignity.
Now, this isn't just one guy venting his frustrations. He brings in the heavy legal artillery. He directly invokes the Federal Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, the RPWD Act of 2016. This is a federal law that mandates comprehensive accessibility standards across the board. By rooting his demands right here, he totally flips the script. It goes from being a polite, easily ignored request into a firm, undeniable demand for legal compliance.
But he doesn't stop at federal law. Oh no, he layers it. He builds this totally airtight argument by stacking the Federal Act with highly specific local and national rules. We're talking the Goa Land Development and Building Construction Regulations of 2010, the National Building Code, and the Harmonized Guidelines for Universal Accessibility. It's like a giant puzzle, and by connecting all these frameworks, he proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that end-to-end accessibility is a hard statutory requirement. It's for sure not just some nice-to-have bonus feature.
And when you actually break down the RPW Act, the trap just snaps shut. Section 40 mandates adherence to accessibility standards, and Section 45 says public buildings must be compliant. But Section 44? That is the real game changer here. It explicitly prohibits the approval of building plans unless those standards are followed. So basically, the authorities are legally barred from even approving the blueprints if they ignore the rules. If the building got built without them, well, that means the original approval process was flawed from the very start. So he demands that these authorities, who, let's remember, are sworn to uphold the law, make sure this building isn't occupied or inaugurated unless it complies in both letter and spirit. I absolutely love that phrasing, because the letter of the law is just having a ramp, but the spirit is making sure that ramp isn't ridiculously steep and actually leads to a front door you can open. He's saying, hey, this building has to serve the public fully before anyone gets to take a celebratory photo.
To make sure this doesn't just get brushed under the rug, the email lays out 3 very specific, non-negotiable steps before any ribbons get cut. Number 1, the occupancy certificate has to be based on an actual ground reality report, not just a quick glance at the old blueprints. Number 2, the accessibility has to be continuous, from the parking lot all the way to the bathrooms. And number 3, a full audit needs to be done by a competent team that literally must include persons with diverse disabilities. Talk about ensuring the compliance is actually practical, right?
He wraps the whole thing up with this incredible ultimatum. He essentially says, look, ignoring this isn't just bad PR, it's illegal. Cutting that ribbon without meeting the statutory requirements would completely defeat the object of the law, and, here's the kicker, it might invite appropriate legal proceedings. It's such a brilliant, airtight way of saying, do the job you swore to do, or I will literally see you in court.
So, what does this all mean for us? Well, this whole explainer really makes you step back and look at your own community. It is wild to see how one incredibly well-researched document can just halt a government operation in its tracks and demand equality. It's a testament to the sheer power of an informed citizen. So it leaves us with a pretty massive question. How accessible is your local infrastructure, and who exactly is holding your local authorities accountable before the concrete dries? The tools are out there, in the legal codes right now. Sometimes they just need someone to pick them up. Keep asking those questions and definitely keep a close eye on the spaces being built around you.